My name is Magnus Hansson. I'm responsible for global product within brand and marketing. I report to Knut Simonsson. So I hope you'll enjoy, let's say, your first taste of the new 95, and I hope you enjoy the drive. A brilliant premium car, a brilliant Saab, a vehicle that we're very, very proud of. And I thought I'd take the liberty to share a bit regarding our thinking and the strategy, the marketing strategy, the product strategy, our ideas about who the customer is and so on. Because at the end of the day, we're not making the cars for ourselves. We're obviously making the cars for consumers out there. So I thought I'd like to share some of that strategy together with you here today. Nokia, I think, gave a good description of the brand. And the brand, Scandinavian origin, aircraft heritage, independent thinking, a lot of different history and legacy of strong, innovative ideas, which is very much alive and well in the new 95. And that, of course, is the base of it, the brand. When we look at the target customer here, this is research from the New Car Buyer Survey, which is performed in Europe and in North America. And looking at it, you can draw a couple of conclusions. One is that we have a quite similar customer base as the other premium European competitors, which basically clearly indicates that Saab really is a premium brand. Quite similar. A couple of key differences though. Generally speaking, a slightly higher education level, slightly more children, which of course puts some requirements on the vehicles, and a quite homogene customer base, both in Europe and the United States. A very similar customer base, which of course is a great advantage when you're developing a brand and developing products for a brand. Very, very good. Dream customer. However, with that said, if we look at these two gentlemen here, I'm sure you recognize them. If you look at the customer in a very traditional way, these two gentlemen, of course, are identical. They're the same age, they're Americans, they work with the same things, they probably live on the same street just outside of Los Angeles, make the same amount of money, same number of ex-wives, you name it. They are identical if you look at the customer the traditional way. I think there's quite a big difference inside their heads. I doubt it looks the same inside their house. I don't think they go to the same restaurants. They probably don't have the same clocks. They probably don't like the same cars. Which is why the proper way to look at the customer is this. And how we try to probe and understand our customer is based upon a model from an outside company, a research company called Sigma, that basically have, in two very simple axles, created a number of customer supergroups. So on this axle, this basically is class, disposable income. So lower disposable income, and then higher and higher disposable income. And then on the upper scale is the value orientation. What's inside, how do people look upon the world? Do you look upon the world in a traditional conservative way, or in more modern ways, or what we call postmodern ways? And postmodern ways, to make it very simple, you could say, is maybe a bit of a blend. I mean, traditional conservative people like the way the world is. They don't want the world to change. If only things were like it was before, everything would be fine. Modern people follow, basically follow, but maybe not lead. These people lead developments. Roots and DNA is very important. Authenticity is very important. But on the other hand, they're comfortable that the world is changing and society is evolving, which maybe conservative people are not. So, based upon that, number of supergroups in society, such as a traditional blue-collar segment, an upper conservative elite segment, and then a very interesting segment for a brand like Saab, upper liberals. And basically, this is the target segment because of two reasons. One reason is that people who buy Saabs, generally speaking, belong to that segment. And the other reason is that the brand of Saab appeals very, very strongly to people with these type of value orientations here. And that's terrific, because it's a segment that's not dominated by anybody else. If you look at an upper conservative elite segment, it's a segment that's very dominated by a German institution. It's the homeland of a brand like Mercedes-Benz. Upper liberal is a quite open segment. Many manufacturers sell into it, but nobody dominates it. And relatively speaking, Saab is very strong in that segment here. it's a trend-setting segment. So, you know, a lot in the future, and it's a growing part of society. When you generally look at societal structures, you know, generally speaking, these are the parts of a modern society that are growing in size, where, let's say, more conservative segments are, generally speaking, shrinking. So, you know, one of the interesting debates we always had is, are there enough customers up there? Well, yeah, we think there is. There's about 40 million people up here. No brand dominates it completely. And it's a growing part of society where we resonate very strong. So we think it's a very, very good match we have. And that's exactly the target customer we have in mind. That, combined with the brand, is who we develop the cars for. One final factor regarding the outside perspective. Here's another research from the New Car Buyer Survey. It basically shows people who bought the Saab. What did they strongly consider as the other makes? And you can clearly see a pattern. Audi was the main second choice. That was the most serious consideration before they bought the Saab. When you add up the other European makes, about 60% seriously considered one of these before buying a Saab, which really cements the fact that Saab really is a premium brand in the mind of the consumers, and Audi is the dominant force. So that's really why Jan-Åke and ourselves always talk about Audi A6 being the prime competitor to the new 95. It's not really our opinion, it's the consumer's opinion on it. And then you could say that Audi A6 is a very good vehicle benchmark. I mean, it's a car that's good at everything. So it makes a lot of sense. The customers clearly say Audi A6 is the competitor, and it's a good car to measure yourself from the vehicle point of view. So that's what's behind that part. Good, so brand. Good idea about our brand. Very good idea about our brand in our opinion. Clear idea about the target customer. We looked at the segmentation, where Jan-Åke showed you the market opportunity of about 8 million premium cars in the world by 2020. 4 major segmentations, you could say. A very good situation where the premium business is very difficult to penetrate. I mean, the entry ticket really is a brand and some heritage. I think Japanese luxury shows how difficult it is to become a premium global brand. And, you know, we're probably not going to have too many serious global premium competitors in the horizon. So, great business opportunity, great brand, good idea about the customer. You need a portfolio to fill that, and this is what we have in mind. We've been in the premium large segment for many years with 9.5, 9,000 offers. This, of course, is the latest offer. So we're going to continue having a 9.5 family of cars playing in the premium large segment. There's going to be a premium mid-sized offer following the proud tradition of 900s and 93s and so on. And we're obviously going to continue being in that category. We take a lot of pride in basically have reintroducing and invented a segment of European premium convertibles, capable to use all year round with 4 seats. Very closely and strongly associated with Saab, so we're obviously going to stay into that part of the business. So, you know, that really is the core Saab portfolio. However, times change, business change, and we need to expand outside of the core of the Saab brand. And we're going to do that in 2 directions. One, with a crossover offer. A 94X coming out next year is going to be the first global crossover offer. And below the 93, we do have to expand, no doubt about it. The brand needs to, the business needs to, and we will expand. And as Jan-Åke alluded to, that's obviously very high on the priority list and something that we will commit to do as quickly as we can. So, that is basically the portfolio that we have in mind. A vision portfolio, which very well covers the needs of the brand, meeting the business opportunity, and basically covers all of the life stages of the target customer. When they're single, in the couple stage, family stage, children moving out, a primary car, a secondary car maybe, as a convertible might be for your weekend and so on. And that's how we see, you know, an adequate, good, strong portfolio for a niche-orientated premium brand. We're not there though, and we intend to get there in steps. First step being a proper flagship, a new 9.5, a real premium competitive flagship vehicle. Expand into the crossover segment, 94X, which has been co-developed with the 9.5.